it's really sad to that it's unfortunate, that happens. For when you really curious when you talked about your rap journey. I didn't know you rapped.
Oh yeah.
And when you talk about your rap journey, like what was that like? Like, can you give it like a little bit of freestyle here?
Oh, I don't know if I could do that, but it's been a while. But I'll give you a bit of a story. So it was back in like around 1986. I was at a in elementary school in this one of my schoolyard friends, and this was a time when I didn't have bullies, which was a nice time. But he said, "Here, listen to this," and put on some headphones, and he played me Run DMC. And for some reason, just hearing something different like that sparked my interest. And then there was a time when we moved out of Ontario, Canada to New Brunswick, and my sister had a record and it had a song on it called Lean on Me by, it was a popular song in the 80s, but the flip side had a rap song by the Fat Boys, which is another 80s group. And when I was a kid and my parents were gone and I was alone, and there were times I'd just put on the record and blast it, and it was just amazing. And eventually I ended up moving back to Ontario, and my brother was in Bible college at the time. And being at Bible college, he brought home a tape. He wasn't into rap. He was into rock and roll, like, U2 and other things like that. And he brought home a tape from a rapper, which was his name was MC Peace.
Okay.
And that got me hooked. And then from there, it's like, you know what? I like writing. Why don't I try it myself? And then that's really where it began.
That is so cool. Wow. How long were you doing that? Or you know what? I'm actually curious because writing, you said you wrote lyrics, for rapping and everything, and you wrote a book. How did that actually coordinate
Yeah.
together or intertwine together? Because it's writing material.
Yeah, what I really liked about writing the raps was the rhyming and just, being very, very creative. So when it came to starting the blog, I'm not a professional writer, and I'd write and then I'd go back and read stuff years later and be like, oh my goodness, that needs to be updated. The grammar needs fixing. And thankfully I improved. And then that's when the idea came, like, you know what, if you're going to go through your entire blog, rewrite it, and there's more stories you want to share, then why not try and do that book, that idea that's been in your head for, maybe 5 years now. And because it's a monumental task, right? And I didn't think I could do it, but thanks to having the blog already, now again, my blog and book are totally different
Mhm.
because there's a lot more stories in the book, and it's much much better written. And the one thing that really helped me is that my mom edited my book, and so that was the long process that took the longest. But I just really enjoy writing, and I hope people enjoy my or reading my work.
That is so cool. And that's amazing, too. You don't really come across, one who writes music and writes books and blogs. It's
Yeah.
rare. I
Mm.
I write I ran a few songs and I published it on YouTube and things like that. So it's
That's
pretty
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're very creative, a lot of us, I find.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
comes with the territory of just constantly adapting to life's
Yeah.
challenges.
Yeah.
I think it just brings out the creativeness within us. And I'm during, the growing phases of you getting older and everything, how were the earliest moments like, during that transition from physical and mentally, during your Becker muscular dystrophy journey?
Yeah, because a lot of the things that would happen is at times I'd be left out just because I couldn't do certain things, like the youth group would go roller skating. I'd still go, but I would just sit on the sidelines because that's just something I couldn't do. And you know, I guess I just got used to it and adapting. But falling, the one thing that I did is when I was falling a lot, I was rolling over my ankle. I actually got some shoes that were like high top basketball shoes, which gave my ankle more support so it wouldn't roll over. So that's where the creativity began. And then the main thing that would really happen to me a lot is I would fall. And so, see, I was 16, 17, even into my 20s. If I fell, I could use what they call the Gowers maneuver to work up my body and then stand up.
Hmm.
I mean, it's something I can't do anymore, but back then I would joke around with my friends. Like I'd be walking with them one time and I fell and they kept walking. They didn't notice I had fallen. And then they turned around and said, "Hey, Brad, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm just tying my shoe," you
Hmm.
know. So I'd play it off a lot. But nowadays, as I'm older, it's not something I can really play with. If I fall, it's not going to be a good situation.
Yeah, yeah. What was the transition like, for your family as well with, that whole process,